I think this is like the most important episode we've ever done. Not that he's using anything by please don't get me wrong.
It's serious episode.
Don't get me wrong.
We need to respect that there are different categories of disabilities. Sometimes we assume that it's a one size fits all.
For sure.
So once we understand that, then we know that they have different needs, that we tend to ignore them, and just push them.
And I feel like most of the time we ignore them because we don't know how to approach them or how to, we can't.
Yeah.
There's that communication barrier first of all.
I mean, hit to say, how would you know they're deaf? You know,
Yeah, it's
how
true.
would you know they're deaf?
Like I had to learn the things like she would refer to the dad. This is the dad side, right?
What?
Yeah. So I learned when because we were living together. Like
So when you get to the hospital, I'm the one who was interpreting, of course, and the nurses were very, very bad. They were just like, kwani nupeleke mtoto nje wote jua, kwani ujui? And I'm like, we have a curriculum where the medics, as they go to colleges, universities, sign language is a component of one of the things that they do learn.
It should be
right?
part of like the. My doctor once told me what it's called side bed etiquettes. Side bed etiquettes on how they treat. There's a whole manual on how
there is.
Yes, there's a whole manual called side bed etiquette.
It's true. Even my mom in the hospital, she'll notice, like those when she used to work for government hospitals, this patient has been here for a very long time, right? You know how come sit on the bench, wait for your names to be called. So she'll go and tell them nini ni shida iko wapi, and they'll be like,
oh my God.
So she'll ask the name, go look for their file.
So hi guys, welcome back to another episode of 9 to 5 Moms. Today I'm your host Kanali and I am wearing a black t-shirt written 9 to 5 Moms with a mommy carrying a baby. I am dark skinned in complexion and I am joined by my co-hosts
Velma. Thank you for listening to us from our previous episode, and I would like to describe myself. I am dark-skinned, wearing a 9 to 5 t-shirt, as Kanali has said, with a mommy holding a baby, written work hard, mom harder. I'm wearing gold jewelry. I have gold hair, golden locks, though my skin color is dark in complexion.
Beautiful. And we are joined by a very special guest. Guys, first of all, niwape background. We've been waiting for this episode like no one's business. Like no one's business.
Yes.
Just believe it.
Yes.
The moment we had a chat, we really connected and we figured, you know what? Let's put this story out there.
So before you introduce, you have to give the background. You have to give the background. How did we end up in this situation? We had a mommy conversation with someone who asked us something about inclusion. Yes.
Wow.
By the way,
take so bad. I was trying to remember. I'm in my head. I'm like, hey, how did we end up here? So again, mommy brain. But last year we were at an event, Positive Circles. Let us just shout it out.
Yeah, Positive Circles. Yeah,
because it's a really important forum for women. If you're looking to grow career-wise, you can check them out. I'll leave the details in the description box. And so we were just chatting and telling someone about 9 to 5 moms, and they really brought out the side of other mummies who are not really given the support that they need or, given the airtime. And we were like, you know what? How do we even start? And then, like God works in mysterious ways. Fate always happens. We happened to bump into our guest. And here we are. I don't know if I'm leaving anything.
That's correct.
behind.
So drum rolls.
Yeah. So please introduce yourself to our online community.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Silvia Muturi. I am wearing a purple t-shirt. I don't know why they've not given me their branded t-shirt.
Oh my God. I think we will bring it.
Mine is a purple t-shirt with the butterfly prints on it. I'm wearing a hat and earrings that has cowrie shells. And I have dreadlocks and dark skin complexion. And I'm really happy to be here today just to have this conversation with you on a topic that's close to my heart.
Yes. I think this is like the most important episode we've ever done. Not that it's using any buyer, please don't get me wrong.
It's serious episode.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
It's a serious episode to a point that we don't even we wouldn't say we know how to tackle it. So she is our host.
We are here learning.
Yeah,
today.
we are learning today
and
together.
unlearning.
Yes, and unlearning.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe Silvia, you can take us through your. How did you find yourself here? First of all, have you said what you do, like professionally?
No, not yet. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a mom. I'm a mom to a teenager, Gen Z.
Chelsea mumeitwa hapa. This is how your moms look like.
Millennial raising a Gen Z. He's in high school. I also am a sign language interpreter. I work with the deaf and also other persons with disabilities.
So Sylvia,
Loaded.
I don't even know how to introduce this element of the question. When we were having casual conversation with one of our viewers, or rather one of our part of our community, as Kanali had mentioned at Positive Circle, and she was like, you guys are doing a very good thing for the mommy community and women in general who are in these spaces. But she was like, but I feel like there's something you can do more if you're really in this storytelling platforms and you want to give more light as to what happens in the background. Have you considered including, people with disabilities, especially moms who are, in that community? Have you thought about how they are included in these conversations, what their experiences are like,
How their motherhood experience is like.
because all of us can do banter over how hard it is for us, and we are like we might feel like, oh, we are seen because our stories are hard and we can express them in our way. Yeah, we can relate. And given that we are majority, so we can connect on it. Then she's like, have you considered then moms who are, in this community of persons with disabilities? And for that, you remember we
were taken
aback and like,
we felt like we had failed.
we had yes, that's the correct word. We felt and that's why we reached out to you and we're like, okay, please educate us. Does this community exist? Yes. How do we then make them part of this conversation? How do we include them? What is that experience like? Because we really can't even speak on their behalf.
Yeah.
And I think we've had background conversations on phone. We had a meeting, we discussed it. And I want you to now take what we discussed offline and bring it to the space.
light.
Yes.
Right. So I think maybe I'll start off by saying that we need to respect that there are different categories of disabilities. Sometimes we assume that it's a one size fits all.
For sure.
So once we understand that, then we know that they have different needs, so and different accommodation needs. So for myself, because as an interpreter, then I've worked mostly with the deaf community and mostly deaf mothers. And the few stories that I'll share with you are I've asked for permission, and they said that we could talk about it. So just to put a pin and to just let you know how I ended up being an interpreter. Because when I was growing up, I wanted to be a journalist. Travel the world, be in the media and stuff like that. But
Coca TV.
Yes. So I think the two main factors that led me to be where I am today. The number one factor is my mom. Hi, mom.
Mommy.
So my mom right now is a retired medic.
Oh.
So when she'll be working in the hospital, she'll meet the deaf people, and she realized the importance of sign language as the main means of communication for them to get access to quality healthcare. So it was a pen and paper story which took longer, or you're just trying to figure out what really is their issue so that you can give a proper diagnosis and medication. So it was just, I hope they don't show up. If they don't show up, you just hope they are well, So my mom is the one who signed me up for classes when I'd finished Form 4. So you remember there was that gap here. You wait until September to join. She thought,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a gap,
So she's like, yeah, you should, because it was where we used to go to church. The missionaries announced they wanted to offer sign language. She signed me up. Me, I'm like,
What is this?
Because you don't even have any person in a family who's deaf. So I just didn't understand the connection, but mom did. So that's how I learned sign language, and I got immersed into the community. And the second factor is I'm the only girl in a family of boys. So my rules were different. It's like I'm there, but you're not really there. My voice was hardly heard. So I understand why we are empowering the girl child, because I was that girl child back then where, you're just to be seen and not to be heard.
Wow.
So I really resonate with the deaf community because they are with us. It's just that we tend to ignore them, and just push them.
And I feel like most of the time we ignore them because we don't know how to approach them, or how to, we can't.
Yeah.
There's that communication barrier first of all, and then most of the time we're just like,
But you know,
because sitaki pia kuku-offend at the end of the day. You get.
You know what imenihit tu sai, how would you know they're deaf? You know,
Yeah, it's
how
true.
would you know they're deaf? Like you would be talking to somebody, and I've actually seen a few clips here and there online that somebody's offending someone who really can't hear them and they can't respond. Then you think the person is ignoring you. Then you know the situation just moves from level 3 to level 10.
Wow.
Honestly, this person can't communicate with you.
Yeah. It's true. Even my mom in the hospital, she'll notice, like those when she used to work for government hospitals, this patient has been here for a very long time, right? You know how come sit on the bench, wait for your names to be called. So
Oh my
she'll
God.
go and tell them nini ni shida iko wapi, and they'll be like,
Oh my God.
So she'll ask the name, go look for their file, and then
Bless her, Manze.
so now my mom, anytime, and you know the deaf are very good because they'll be like, they'll tell other deaf people, this OC is nice. There's a very nice medical works here, so that they all come. So and they'll come in, other people
Okay, I
tell
hear
my
you're
mom.
balancing tears, man.
Okay, by the way, you're
other-
crying.
I know, it's just hit me. No, I've had a moment of like, can you imagine you, like you're just stuck in hospital, you have a headache or you have a toothache, somebody's calling your name,
You
can't
can't
you
hear.
can't hear, and then you're in pain. So unless you're in excruciating pain, you'll just sit there because you're just seeing things moving.
Yeah, they see. And then, so, most people in the hospitals, from the nurses to the doctors, and they'll see the deaf, they'll tell my mom, ndo watu wako. And I think that's what I'm trying to demystify. When you appear as an expert, people think that's your expertise, that's your forte.
Hiyo ni yako,
Usitulete-
tumekuachia.
Niko na swali.
Nini?
Let's start on kupose. That time your mom was not doing sign language.
No, it's just that she was like, okay,
She was more empathetic.
yeah,
to-
like we need to help these guys. So that's, I think, the conversation we still need to have today. How do we unpack, like you guys have said you're willing to learn, that it's their thing, them, they know, they're experts, the organizations. Yeah, I know, so
Oh my God.
it's not, and it's very true. So for the deaf, it's an invisible disability. And yes, like you said, you'll talk to them, and when they start doing this, you freeze and you flee most of the times, because like you said, you don't just do a sign, it could be offensive and everything. Yeah, but there's a beautiful community. I remember when I was learning, they'll really encourage me. Even if you do the wrong signs, they're like, no,
wow.
keep going. And I think for the deaf, it's just for us to learn sign language, and it's not hard. It's really not hard at all.
Yeah, I think for me, the moment I realized I wanted to really learn how to communicate with the deaf community is when we were living with someone, a mom actually. I didn't know she was a mom at the time, but she is a mom. What am I saying? She's a mom, but she's deaf, but the kid is not.
Yeah.
And most of the time we had that communication barrier. I'm like, Unjua, like, so sijui, like I had to learn the things, like she would refer to the dad. This is the dad side, right?
What?
Yeah. So I learned when, because we were living together, like alikuwa anaishi kwetu, but I mean, I just realized, you know what, there's no way I cannot communicate with this person because she's so lovely and I would want to learn more about her world. And that's okay. Personally, sijairudi kusoma, but I'm really interested in learning. Yeah.
So now zeroing down to that, even like, Annie, you just made me understand, like, this is such a big conversation. Like, look at it from just institutions. So first thing I thought about also as a mom, you can imagine a deaf mom to be. You've discovered you've missed your periods. You're going to hospital. So if the hospital in itself or the doctors, the medics don't understand sign language, So how are we even communicating that I've missed my period and or I've been trying to have a baby or I'm trying to have a baby? In fact, I think one of the offline conversations we're having was how they're also treated terribly in the institutions when they appear with, they're expectant, and then
Like, who did this
who
to
did this
you?
to you? You remember when you're taking, and I was like,
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying again. It's the way we've labeled them, the box that we place them in. And it's sad because they're like they're not human. They are humans.
They are.
They also have sexual desires.
imagine,
They are married, they want to
they're
start
married,
families, they work. They're just like any other person. So yeah, even if you get married and you start a family, that means you get pregnant and you come to the hospital and want to deliver and they go, hi. And even guys go like, now who will do this? Like it's like them themselves, they're thinking, I can't, so why would another man do this to another? So we really need to unpack all of this. And
Ish,
first
a
of all,
lot.
you look at them as a person. They are a person. And so for me, what was interesting is because I have been in the deaf community for quite some time, it was only when I became a mom that I'll get all these requests from them. So other deaf young moms, questions about feeding, about this, about the other. It only happened when I got to that stage in my life. And I'm like, wait, hold up, what's going on? So I remember one lady, the son was very sick, so I had to go all the way to check on the baby. And I said, let's just go to the hospital. And because I saw the baby had yellow eyes, so jaundice. So when you get to the hospital, I'm the one who was interpreting, of course. And the nurses were very, very bad. They were just like, kwani upeleke mtoto nje aote jua? Kwani ujui? And I'm like, information, how we package our messaging and the information is not in a way for them to access. So don't be harsh and nasty. Just try and tell her this is what you're meant to do as a young mom to a first
Exactly.
baby. Or there's ile jua ya asubuhi na ile ya jioni. You take your baby out, that's vitamin D, then that's okay. Then just berating them for things that they didn't know. So, but at least the baby was treated. We still had to come back for a few checkups. But during that stage, at least the nurses were willing to assist her with further information. Even just breastfeeding. Can you imagine? Because at the hospital, the way it took some time for the test and going through different doctors, she was told she was not holding the baby properly. Something basic like you think, okay, shikilia, baby latches, you're good to go.
It's not simple.
It is
No,
not.
people assume, it's
Oh yeah, that's
automatic, right?
but that's one thing. Hata mimi I used to assume until
Yeah.
my friend told me, and I'm very glad she prepared me just when I was about to have my first. And she was like, because she was already a mom, she was like, please go and learn about latching. You will think it's just putting that nipple inside that mouth, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a whole
So
thing.
imagine something from just holding the baby the right way, latching, how to keep alternating so that you're not,
Swollen
just
and all
that.
Imagine in sign language
Yes.
too. Sasa huu mtu anataka kuandikia. In fact, when I
So
think
I was
about it,
there, at least that one I was there. But the rest, it's like you figure it out. You know how moms, you're just told, mother, there's no manual, there is no book on motherhood. Don't worry, you'll be okay. Just,
You will figure it
yeah,
out.
as
Your
you go,
body
you
knows.
just go.
Eh.
So yeah, in this particular case with her, at least I was there with the nurses. So she was able now to get the basic, even just bathing, everything. So right now she's okay. The baby's doing great and well and awesome and fantastic. Then for my other deaf friend, I don't know why kids are interesting. And all these young moms, their kids are hearing. Yes. But their first language is sign language
I
before
love
they go
that.
to school and learn spoken languages, English,
Because that's
Swahili.
what their mom knows.
Yes.
their mother tongue is
Mother
sign
tongue.
language.
Yes. So the kids, I usually find these kids so brilliant. So my deaf friend, the son started going to school, and in the evening he'll tell the mom, no, you're not helping me with homework. Up to now I still don't understand why he felt the mom couldn't help him. So she'll do video calls with me and I'll do the homework with
Oh, wow.
with the kid. So I don't know that the kid just thought mom can't understand. And the simple concepts, like color within the circles. Don't color outside the circle. Just simple when you start nursery school and stuff. I feel like, mom.
No.
So I became the home mom, homework.
Homework
So
mommy.
every evening, video call. So for us, we do a lot of video calls. which really helps us. So yeah, I'll just do homework with them. and
Because it's
stuff.
the only way you can communicate
Yes.
other way, because the
Yes,
sign.
yeah.
Okay.
And then again, back to the hospitals, it's very interesting because so a deaf mom's son was sick. And when they went to the hospital, the doctor is asking the kid the questions. Uligonjeka when jana usiku ulikuwa na, and the mom is like, talk to me, but the doctor is like, how am I going to talk to you? But can you understand? Can you imagine you going to, and then your kid is the one who's being asked these questions? Actually, when did it start? How are you feeling?
Na
And
wewe
she's
umempeleka
like,
hospitali.
yeah, like,
As in,
talk
why
to
are
me.
you not the way you're saying they're
Yeah.
invisible, so that you're being
Yeah.
your presence is being assumed, and then being silent in the room, there's also the assumption that you're dumb, which is
Yeah.
not the case.
Yeah.
You see, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
it's a lot to unpack.
So I like the mom. She was just like, no, you're gonna talk to me. Right on. We'll do this piece and paper. Hey, the
Nice.
doctor was like, it'll take forever. I have other patients. Da, 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 da. So she's like, so she called me. She's like, are you free tomorrow? So I went to just facilitate the communication. Now the challenge that I have is, sign language interpreters, we are professionals. And as a professional, you're paid for what you do, right? But you see, I can't ask the young deaf mom to pay me, and the hospitals are not going to pay me. It's like, bruh, so now's idea,
Ni watu
they
wako.
use
Ni watu wa-
they use that word help on us idea, so people think you're social workers or stuff.
Oh, okay.
So we still also have to have conversations about, as far as institutions are concerned, either we have a curriculum where the medics, as they go to colleges, universities, sign language is a component of one of the things that they
has
do
to, because
learn.
it should be
right?
part of like the my doctor once told me what it's called, side bed etiquettes, side bed
Yes.
etiquettes on how they treat. There's a whole manual on how
There is.
Yes, there's a whole manual called side bed etiquette as doctors you're taken through, and nurses, because that's why, as crazy as some of these medics can behave, there's a code. There's a code of conduct. Yes, the things you can't say, even if they try, they can't say it. It's just part of the code of conduct. So in school, they are trained. Sign language should be part of it.
Okay.
It should be part of it.
I thought you're saying sign language equal, but they're not.
No, it's
No,
not
it should.
there.
It should. I feel like it
should be,
really,
yeah.
really should, because that's a critical service.
It is key.
So, like, for giving an example, a deaf mom is expecting and needs to deliver. What happens?
But then the chapad.
Eh.
Imagine you're in labor, you're in pain, and you're being kaa vizuri, sijui. You're like, but I
If
just
you have nobody to advocate for
I
you,
went once into a labor room and I said, never again. Yo.
With a
never
deaf?
again. Yeah, I had to, because she's just being, what is this? You're being chapad for why? Because ajui, and you're in labor, you're
yeah,
in pain,
and yeah.
you're screaming, you just want this baby get out, and then we deal with other things. It's just a nightmare. So me even, and I hate hospitals, by the way. That's why my mom really wanted me to follow in her footsteps. No. So even being in a hospital, I've really
Pushed yourself.
to be there. And then nurses have changed, because
Nurses, form ni gani?
unachapa msee because
Sasa
it's
ni
like they're
nini?
not cooperating. Ka vizuri sijui nini, and it's chaos and madness, and I need to sign and they can't see me, and even closing their eyes, they're just like, oh, this pain.
I know.
It's
Oh my God, yeah, because they're in pain. So you are trying to interpret. What are you interpreting? And they're in pain.
it's a mess. I just said this, I can't. So either the nurses also to learn, especially if in specific places, learn, or have a sign language interpreter. It doesn't matter. We have technology, right? And I'm sure, even I know some of us feel we are all moms. Can you imagine ati now sasa deaf atasikiaje mtoto akilia?
Okay, when did the conversation? When you talked about it, then it hit me. The baby has facial expressions. They can see.
Yeah, so they rely on visual cues. There's technology. Most deaf moms tell me that sometimes their parents, because the parents are hearing, moms will come and stay with them for a period, but they'll say they'll lie with the baby, but the baby will be vertical. Mama ni horizontal. Ili vertical.
Wait, sasa tuliagree.
Maths.
Brain vertical.
So yeah, you
Ndio
place
hiyo.
baby, so the legs are almost here.
Okay.
So you know how the baby starts fidgeting. So when they're young, when they are really uncomfortable in the start, so they'll be able to
Okay.
and then they'll figure out
Okay.
fine. That was way back then, but now there's technology. You can have a smart monitor that can alert you, can connect with your phone, your what, so you'll be able to baby in distress and something. But back then they're so creative, by the way. They just figure out a way of just navigating motherhood in their own special way. So these misconceptions about their parenting abilities, tuzieke kando.
Yes,
and they're very good moms, by the way.
I can only imagine. I
Very
mean,
good moms, because just by looking at their child, they'll just know. Even if because when I say, how are you, Velma, today? You'll say, fine. And I move on. She said fine. So she's fine. But the deaf will be like, no, what's happening? What's going on?
They can pick on emotional cues very
and body
fast.
language is like, no, your eyes, what's going on? And you're like, oh, by the way. And you pour it all out. So they're very good. They make the best mothers, to be honest. They just need the opportunity, the resources, the support, the love, because they can do it. Just that we, the hearing society, we just have issues.
we're so entitled because we.
Okay, for sure we are. We're too entitled. And then, you've made me remember a story. It helped me remember a story of a different case scenario. I had a friend who took me to a school for the blind. And you see the way you're saying, the dynamics are totally different. And one of the most painful stories I think I got to hear there was there's a lady who had vision for growing up. She had vision for a long time. Then she was diagnosed she had some regenerative, degenerative disease. And then she started losing her vision slowly and slowly and slowly. And as she was losing it, she checked herself into the hospital in advance. No, she checked herself in the institute in advance as she prepares for the full loss of her vision. So by the time we were going to meet her, she had completely lost her vision, but she could remember things and colors and stuff. So, and she's a mom. So I remember I was uncomfortable because I didn't know how to connect. And then she's like, learning how to read Braille and that. Then I was like, oh, wow, the world has really adjusted to try and make sure that things are in that would be able to accommodate her. Then now when you say about the deaf, then I was like, oh gosh, there's also now that dynamics. These ones can touch and feel, and the world is trying to accommodate that. Then there's also the element of hearing. Because you see the ones who are have visual impairment, you can pick them up most of the time because they're walking with a stick. It becomes one of the guides to identify them. And similar to the deaf community, they're also very tight-knit community. Tight-knit completely. They marry each other. They marry each other. They live in the same space, all of them, to just they have really understood the village, how to step up for each other, unlike us entitled.
Unfortunately, it's because we have failed them. We have failed
Because
to
we have
accommodate them.
failed them. So they raise their kids together. Because also our communities shun them. Like they literally shoo them off. So they have to find a way where they can be accommodated.
Yeah. And you just reminded me, because once I became a mom and they all said flooding in, and when one will ask the other, okay, so how did you navigate motherhood? Like, talk to Silvia. So I think I even became closer to my mom, because sometimes I'll get questions. I'm like, is it organized? And then I'll call mom. She'll explain. So I do a video call to them, or I send a text message. So it's like I also became a medic somehow. My mom got her prayer answered. Somehow,
You
just
found yourself still there.
just learning and just helping them to understand that, okay, you're okay. Whatever you're doing, you're fine. And I always tell them, don't copy paste. Yeah. In fact, I've not told you. I've not been to Meru, like, okay, yeah, of course, before you go somewhere, it's always your first time. So your first time I went to Meru, that's what I'm trying to say. You've influenced me, the mommy brain. the first time I was traveling to Meru. So same baby who I've been doing homework with. We've journeyed a lot together. So and she was the same one I was in the labor ward with her.
Wow.
So I remember I had to go to Meru. Guy, Meru ni far. If it's your first
Nimbali.
time. No, if it's your first time.
Okay.
Wachana ni
How
mbali.
many hours?
Okay, ni mbali lakini si mbali kabusia.
Because nilikuwa nianza kwambia nyinyi mnajua mimi
Do you know,
nalala
even
kwa
we had
barabara.
a break. Kuna embu somewhere you
Kuna
stop.
embu.
You
There's
go
embu.
stretch your legs.
Eh.
You go take tea.
Actually hiyo barabara unaanzianga Mwea ndio unaanza kuchoka. Kuchoka Mwea kidogo unafika sasa Embu.
Okay,
Fika
I've never been to
Embu.
those parts.
Kutoka Embu sasa alafu ni
Yeah. No, you're okay. There's expressway. So back then, yeah. So roads is
before
just
it was like
roads.
2 lane.
Yes.
I schooled in Embu, so I don't I schooled in Embu, so
Yo, hi. Nakwambia. So and I'm using public matatu. So
Your mat zinaendeshwa vipi?
So you stop, there's like a place, you all go to the restroom, some people take tea, you stretch your legs, mnaingia now for the
Hey,
final
those
leg.
breaks. I don't know why in my mind I always think like 2 hours away, like to
That
be
time it
bigger.
was 3, almost 4 hours. It was, yeah,
Because it was ilikuwa lane
man.
ilikuwa road moja alafu ni lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was terrible.
One lane.
So I had to leave here. She was winning now her son. So I had to leave here. And I went with my son, by the way. Get there. So winning, just to help her. How do you start winning?
Wow.
Yeah. So I was there for some days, I think a week, helping her
And this,
win.
as you're saying, it's not a paid job.
No,
It's
no.
not.
It's just like what could
Yeah,
you do?
what can
know?
you do?
But the good thing I went with my son, so yeah, let's just go to Meru. So she was hosting us, and it was really. And I think these days things have changed. But you know how you're told, oh, first try this to see if they're allergic, and then now introduce something else, and yo. But I was like, let's just do this, and then. So staying with her, I realized this thing called mother instinct is no joke. Is no, especially to deaf mothers. Like the times I want to tell her, like maybe she's washing clothes outside, and be like, I want to flag her and tell her the baby is crying. She like, is he crying? I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
And she'll go like that mother instinct on them. It's like 100%.
Strong.
Yeah, intuition is so strong, and the bond that they have with the child.
Wow.
So they'll always sense. That's why I say they're the best moms.
Na si
I
phantom
saw it
cries.
my
Si
eyes.
Phantom cries. Zetu zenye ku-
No. But then she's just washing clothes, and I'm like, so she'll be like, stand up. She's like, ako sa ako. I'm like,
Wow.
Yani, I was like, yo, Yani. Yes, they have a loss of a sense, but the other senses
Everything
are
Almost
on
like
a
everything
hyper.
is heightened.
yeah, it's so heightened. They're so in tune. And I'm like, and I told her you'll do fine. And now she's doing so fine. He's such a big boy,
Oh, no.
you know.
Oh.
Yes. Doing great. But it's just been interesting. And the deaf mothers have taught me a lot. I think as mothers, nasiko bye, I love you both. Tunaongeanga sana.
It is true.
Ndio hii podcast sasa.
Chap, 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 chap.
Ndio hii podcast.
Like yeah, you're bonding with your kid, but you just words.
Oh my god, we're just spewing. Oh gosh, we're not connecting. We're speaking. We're
It's
not
just
connecting.
words. It's just words.
We're just spilling words.
Hi, how are you? How's your day?
Hey,
Oh,
then
don't
you
do
move
that.
on.
Stop it. And you're on your phone. You need sijadada. You have a deadline. Blah. But with
homework.
them, if they're there, they're there. Get me? I was like, you know,
They are
in fact,
present.
my son was like, hey, mom, I really enjoyed Mero. And I know I enjoyed because I was also fully present. I could just see, oh, yeah, it's not about words. But then we waste, even because I love you, my friend, if you don't show it, if they don't see it, if they don't feel it,
Just words.
it is words. We talk a lot as mothers
Unajua
sometimes.
umesema hivyo nikakumbuka there's like a video I was watching. Some guy was saying how like intuition is you're born with it. Even animals know it. And
Yeah.
he was explaining, showed a video of this mom who was having a rough time. I don't know if you've watched it. There's a mom who was having a rough time, and then she had put the camera, and then this baby looks like probably 9 months, almost 1 year hivi. The baby was just there, and then the mom broke down. You know, like you forget, and then the mom just broke down, and then this kid just started tagging. It's like tagging, and then you know the way as a mom you want to cover, like oh, the kid was just like, no, there's something wrong, and then just proceeded to hug the mom. He was explaining connection is physical and there's that thing. So the baby didn't have to say, "Mom, I've got you," for the mom to realize that she's got. So it's the same thing you're saying with even the deaf moms. Like, they can sense when their child is going through something. They are able to connect, and because there's no noise, it's the intuition that is actually picking. And remember when I was telling you social cues?
Yeah.
I think they could be one of the best.
No, they are. Because the
Community
kids
to
will
pick.
never hear the mother's voice, but they will see
They'll
the
feel their
love. They'll
presence
feel it. That yes,
to the max.
Yeah, they will.
Wow.
You remember how you'd know your mom is about to come?
Yeah.
Like the air would change.
Maybe nasikia tu gate kwanza ina
Before gate igongo.
You're just like, yeah.
No. Acha nikaoshe
Kuna
vyombo.
kujua. Kuna kujua.
hiyo kelele yenye inakuja.
So I get what you mean, like
Yeah.
the presence. You can imagine now even the kids are. So now maybe probably something that I'm dying to ask is, I wonder how their kids feel like. Because as you're saying, they'll never get to hear their mom's voice. I once went online to just read on the community, and I got really, I don't know, some kids had written awful things about their parents who were disabled, and it drove a hole into my heart, because there's one who actually said, if you know you are disabled, you shouldn't bring a child, because it's like you're bringing in a personal permanent caregiver to you. Then at some point I was like, but this person lived before you. They were here before you, so it's a privilege that you get. You are here. They would have chosen not to have you. And these kids were saying that they'd prefer the choice of not having been born with parents who are
differently
disabled.
able.
Yeah. And that hit me badly, because it's like, you can imagine how you're saying, like, this is a person first. And
Who has really loved you.
yes,
like,
and genuinely loved you, like, without any reservation.
But you know, for like I said, it still goes back to us as society, us as the village.
That's true.
because the child has no issue between 0 to 2. But once they go out there and they hear what we say, that you guys don't really come from a normal family, your mom's not normal. So they're like,
They start looking at their moms
and
differently.
you know, for us, we always want to fit in. We don't want to be different, right? So we need to change a lot of conversations about how do we view them, right? And like I said, once we view them as humans, as a person, as people, maybe we can change the narrative. And the beauty about kids is that they'll always want to know. They're curious. They want to find out. They want to ask. And it's good for them to do that, to just find out that, yeah, we are all in the same village, but everybody has, their own way of doing
They're all
stuff.
different.
Yeah. And like I said, for me, my learning point was becoming a better mother.
Wow.
Right. That's what I decided to learn from them. They taught me that up to now, I still, relive that in terms of wacha kusema words nyingi. It's
Sasa huu ni mimi
how
una address
present
bana.
are you? How present are you? To the point of even that phone, because I know sometimes, yes, you need your phone and stuff. How many times have we set our phones aside and
Wow.
just,
That part.
be with them, right? Be with them. Look into their eyes when you're talking to them. Not like
Understand them.
you're doing something and you're talking to them and you're busy and you're saying you have eyes at the back of your head and you're shutting them and in the room. It's there. Yeah, you are with them. Present.
And they know, and they can see it.
Yeah.
They know when you're on your phone and you're telling
Yeah.
them. They won't stop what they're doing. You're not present. Unaniambia nini?
I even went through a bad habit on a season where I used to have the Bluetooth. So, because my house is noisy sometimes, so the only way to, mom time, so I'd put them so that when everybody's screaming and then so I'm like, I'm not hearing them. Now like when you're having this conversation, I'm just like, now what is that? Like what is that, Velma, what you are doing? Because now my kids called me out on it. They're like, Mom, because you're walking around with these things in your ears, you can't hear us. So because you're noisy. To hear you guys. And then at some point they're like, okay. Then my husband was like, honestly, if something happens, will you hear? Then I'm like, okay, then we remove one side. I removed one side. I removed one side to salve the situation. But then one day when we're having a conversation, your 6-year-old checked me. They're like, what if I'm hurt? You won't hear me.
Wow.
I was like, like, yeah, just remove them. You can, the music you're listening to, even us, we can listen to it. That's why Spotify now became a public good. And now, again, it goes down to that statement you're saying. I can't, like, even when you've said it, I'm like, when was the last time I looked into their eyes and just was like, how are you doing? How are you really doing? And not done it thinking, as you're saying, dinani. Tulikula nini jana? Like, tuna tissue kweli? Yeah, so I admire the fact that they are fully immersed into their role. I am just sad that they are invisible and we don't get to experience them as much. What I've seen in most cases is now and actually the love of a mother is something else. Like when a mom has a child who is, has, how, I don't even, like, they're different in terms of, like, as you're saying, there's different spectrum. Has visual impairment or has a hearing impairment. You see how mom, as you're saying in the beginning, I think we talked about this offline, how moms go on a drive to try and fix it. Like, we must find a solution because we cannot be labeled like this. And they will lift every stone available. They'll check with each other and where can I get a doctor who can help with this? And then also going to that moment of truth that, okay, my child is deaf. Okay, my child is blind. You see now the reverse, how moms will go onto it to try and solve it and then finally accepting it. Now then the worst scenario is now imagining how they have to go through the fact that at some point they have to detach and then this person has to live their life, as you're saying, as a person who will have desires. They'll want to have get married or have kids. Because again, the society is not designed to encourage them to take the normal route in life, because who will love you,
Who will
accommodate you. Yeah. And then as you're saying, people who, for example, if she's it's a lady who's deaf and they get married to somebody who is not deaf, again there's judgment. Then there's the speculation, will they have a deaf child? As in, wow, there's so much unlearning. And
Even something that maybe we'll talk about another day, but also we have moms who it's your first time expectant and give birth to a child who's not normal. So what do you do? Yeah, what do you do? There also that's the other side as well of the
you know what I mean,
story.
hit when you're going to hospital and they're doing, for example, the ultrasound, they tell you, can you hear the heartbeat? Doof, 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 doof.
They can't hear
They
it.
can't hear it.
No, they can't. That's what I'm saying. With the technology, there's a lot that can be done with technology. So for them will be their vibration. Maybe they just feel the vibrating, the child vibrating heart. I saw on social media one time, there was a blind mom who could, they did a 3D for her ultrasound. It was so beautiful. So she could just feel it.
Oh my God.
So technology is here with us. We're talking about AI being the future. So what are we doing in terms
About
of
it.
accommodative as a village, as whatever your role is, whether it's in the village, whether it's in corporate, whether it's in policy, what are we doing?
I really must commend you how you umejituma, like for real.
Umejituma, true.
Umejituma, for sure. And as we wrap up, maybe one thing that you'd want us, because I know it's a long process to change the system, us, our thoughts. What is the one thing? Maybe where can we start? Because I think most of us
We were
we're not
raised
sure.
in the mom setting, like as moms.
Where can we start? What can we
do
to accommodate them?
So I think just sharing. I love what you're doing in this platform, I mean, as a first time mom, you just have no idea what you're doing. So the first thing is providing that platform of people coming together and just sharing. So that's beautiful. And I know through me now we'll be able to rope them in more and get to learn from each other. Like I've told you, for me, I just learned being a present mom is important more than what I say and how I say it. So that's number one. Number two, because it's the deaf that I'll mostly talk about, learn a few basic signs, right? Especially if you know you work in an area where they'll come to you for services or products. Just like, it's not hard, by the way. Like saying hello is just this.
With the
Hello.
phone.
Yeah. Just from your forehead down.
Hello.
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 Yeah. Or today's Friday. Today is
Oh,
Friday.
right.
Today is Friday.
Leo ni Pride, guys.
Yeah. And it's been raining and
Oh,
it's
it's been
cold.
raining.
Oh,
it's
and
cold.
I mean, these are things we can
Yeah.
easily learn. I think
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
even
very
when you're saying it, one of the
basic.
best content creator quoted for now for kids, Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel has been teaching
How did I forget
babies
this?
sign language. I mean, like the way more.
Yeah.
So like when like my 1-year-old does this, I'm like,
like
Yep.
more.
I
Yeah.
think it's
and I'm
very.
like,
eh.
that's where it starts, and we
Yeah.
don't need to wait for policy. We can use actually for moms.
Platforms.
Let's raise a generation of kids who are aware. So like Miss Rachel, as in kudos.
Yeah.
Like you know, a 1-year-old. There's another one for milk.
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 Ni milk.
Yeah. As we do this.
Mama. Hata hizo za mama dada nililania hapo.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, we need to incorporate this in our contents as creators, so that we raise a more aware generation. Because like you said, you're raising a Gen Z. I love that generation for one good reason. Their value systems are very clear with them. You say what you think. You
But
do.
me, I know what I know.
This is what I know, and I love that they stand on their word. Like hivi ndio tumesema, hivi ndio tunafanya. They don't usually have that sijui fence sitting at
No.
maybe.
That's us millennials.
Millennials
But like, hey, but if I do that, what will happen?
What will
Like, we always give you the repercussions.
Consequences ni za huyo consequence.
Kesi baadaye.
Kesi baadaye. So I like that the Gen Zs, I can imagine even your son must be very aware.
No, he is.
He's
He
very-
knows sign language. Yeah, he does.
So, yeah, and somebody who I'm mentioning who's in the back of these cameras was part of production.
Yes.
Also told us that his dad was a special education and is and he even showed us a few things and we're like, hey, this whole time we've been shooting a podcast here tu, yani man say yani tu kusema tu kweli tu, yani tu ulikuwa na hii information how to ambi.
Yeah.
So now I'm seeing how as a grown up, you having experienced that, you are aware and you're more accommodative. So if you're in that environment, like now I feel so inadequate that I'm unaware of this invisible community that exists, and I've not even thought about how to connect with them until we're having this. After a whole 30-something years of existing, I have been ignoring, and I'm part of the people who assume they don't exist. Surely it's embarrassing.
It is.
Yeah, so it's up to us, as you're saying, to start it at our houses. We teach our kids sign language. We try and learn sign language. We teach our kids sign language, so that if they're in that environment, they're able to accommodate
True.
the invisible community.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, for
Thank you.
honoring the invite. It's been a long time coming, guys. I have no idea. And I feel like it's an ongoing conversation for sure. And if you have any questions, you can kindly leave them on the comment section or in the what's it called? Our DMs. Our DMs for Silvia, and we'll also leave her details in the description box on how you can have access to her. You know, if there's anything you would need to find out about how you can support her, and also basically anything. I don't know what to say.
Probably what I'd want to add is, I think you've challenged us in how we view our world. What we think as voices are powerful, actions are even more powerful. And we've been saying it, kusema na kutenda.
Manze,
We've been
show,
saying it.
show me you love
Show
me.
me you love me.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
Kumbe ni iko everywhere.
There's a place where it's actually very practical, that it's the show more than the say. I think for Silvia, I think for institutions, I'm looking straight in the camera to actually address this. If you're in the medic world, it's important. From just guest management, I'm talking to the Nairobi hospitals, I'm talking to the ARs, I'm talking to the Gertrudes, I'm talking to the Kenyatta National Hospital, I'm talking to MP Shah, I'm talking to Jacaranda Maternity, I'm talking to all the list of healthcare institutions that are out there. Let's invest. Let's invest in having people who would be able to interpret for
and advocate
for the deaf community in your waiting rooms. They are paying customers. Don't let that revenue walk away. Don't make assumptions they can't afford it. Accommodate them if you're a service provider. I think Safaricom is one of the leading corporate when it comes to inclusion, because in Safaricom they have desks to support the deaf community, the visually they do. So I remember at some point there were different videos where they're shooting and showing how they've tried to incorporate these communities that are not incorporated in any other corporate. So they've made sure that their customer service is customized for every need. So you might think they are not taken care of. They have SIM cards, isn't it? They have phones, isn't it? They do M-Pesa just like you and me. So let's also do that. I mean, I don't think Safaricom is Safaricom because they just make a shitload of money. No, it's also because they're a brand that also have tried as much as possible to incorporate this in their way of doing business. So if you're in the medic world, I mean, why not? Let's do it. Let's start it with nurses, the receptionists, the cashiers. Let's try and find out how we can finish the stereotype around this this invisible community. So that for me is the parting shot. And if you're a mom and you want to learn sign language, I think maybe Silvia, you can tell
teach
us.
your kids.
Teach kids.
Yeah.
Where do we get this information? How? Okay, aside from the
Ni hao.
volunteers, ni hao tunafanya haje, please.
No, I'll share all the details with you. We'll put them in the description so everyone can be able to see and reach out.
Yeah.
So
this is the video. When you tunaombenga check the description today. Check it. Yeah, for all the information.
And then for those who are listening to us, thank you so much for listening to our voice. We talk much, but as Silvia has said, how do I put this differently? I wish we would be, if we were in that space where we are able to do sign language, we would be in a best position to do the podcast and also ensure we communicate to this community. Pass our love to the moms who are in this community. We love them. We understand them.
We are rooting for them. We are supporting them
Yeah.
from now on. Yeah.
We are here for them. So even for the advocacy, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Bruh.
Yani, oh yeah, bruh. Nobody might say thank you,
Yeah.
but I think thank you for getting them to feel like you are part of their community, because I can imagine how hard it is, because you can hear and just being included in that community. Thank you for having the spot to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and with that said, thank you so much to you for tuning in today. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, please subscribe. Tuko road to sijui 1K ama ni 10K. I don't remember what we even said, but yeah, subscribe, guys. Support the channel. Support these conversations, because we are really keen on putting these stories out, especially this year. And today we're shooting at the Voice Box Studios, guys. If you need any studio space, guys, reach out to them. Details tena ziko kwa description. So this is the video to check the description box. Until next time. Bye. That was such a beautiful conversation.
Oh, nice.
Enough time, but